And at the time they get shipwrecked on the island, the son is something like 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old, or something like this. And they end up stuck on this island for like years and years and years. And then the son becomes like, 16, 17 years old. And the only woman he's seen all this time is his mother.
This is not an interview. There is no format. This is simply a conversation about life.
Do you think it would be the same if you had a daughter?
That's a good question, actually. I do ask myself, because there is this theory that when you're mother to a son, you are automatically different. The son has a penis and is, it's just, and you're different from one another. So I never had this moment of fantasizing to know what it feels like to be him.
Mm-hmm.
And the theory goes that because mothers and children are symbiotic, it is way more dangerous for the mother and the daughter to keep that symbiosis for too long. Because, in that symbiotic moment, you cannot individuate, meaning it's like almost a death experience because you don't feel yourself, you're melting. So, and you cannot be independent. And that's why, for instance, girls are known to be dry sooner than the boys. It's just a phenomenon. They dry out. They dry meaning they they don't need the diapers. They're awake quicker to show signals and wanting to be independent. This is a fact. And the theory says it could be that the mother and the daughter need more independence of each other because they tend to fantasize to be the other. So it could be that I would not love my daughter less, but I think my psychology would be another one than with, because to me he is, because of his gender, another. And the daughter could, I could possibly think she's like me or she's the same. Just fantasizing, which wouldn't be true, but I can imagine it being different.
Interesting. Interesting. And do you think that where this is how maybe this role would reverse, where like you have like this expression, daddy's little girl, where the girl has this connection with her father, and maybe the son and the father may have a bit more of a conflicting relationship as the, you know what I mean? Like, interesting.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard of the Oedipus complex? Every boy at one point falls in love with his mother and wants to marry her. But unfortunately, there is a father already married to the mother. So the boy creates fantasies about killing the father and then has guilt feelings for thinking that way.
Yeah.
So
interesting. I told you. Wait, did I tell you about this movie? I told you about this movie I saw.
Tell me the name of the movie. You told me about many movies.
I think it was called something like don't relax for a second. Hold on, because when I tell you the plot of this story, you're gonna, So it's like the movie is about a family. I think they get shipped. They're on a boat together, and then they end up getting shipwrecked on an island. And at the time they get shipwrecked on the island, the son is something like 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old, or something like this. And they end up stuck on this island for like years and years and years. And then the son becomes like 16, 17 years old. And the only woman he's seen all this time is his mother. And so as he blooms into manhood or whatever, it becomes a little bit of a conflict. And it got serious. And, I don't want to tell you any more of the story in case you ever want to see it, but I think it was called I think it was even called something like The Beast Awakens or something like that. And yeah, but it was really it was a really tense movie. I think it's from the 60s or something like that. Yeah, 50s, 60s. No, not the 50s, like the 60s.
But actually, when that happens with the little boys, it's not happening when they come into adolescence. Mm-hmm. It happens when they find their sexual identity, age 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. They enter the symbolic gender order of the societies, of the culture that they're in. Mm-hmm. The Oedipus complex is a complex that only holds true for the Western societies. Mm-hmm. The gender order in the Western societies are based upon that complex. Mm. This might not be true for other societies. Mm-hmm. And that just shows how sexuality and sexual identities are intertwined with culture. Mm. So it could be if we were living in other cultures, this wouldn't even unfold that in this way. But we don't.
Well, there was no culture. They were literally stuck on an island. I don't know that this plays a part. It's more, I think it's more about once you become a sexual being, period. If it was, I think if, let's say this kid was growing up to be gay, and the only man was there was his father. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been the same story. You know what I mean? Like, well, not necessarily the same story, because maybe they would have tried to handle things a little. I don't know because.
But just the fact that this movie has been done, mm-hmm. The fantasy of the movie comes from a certain cultural background. The movie it's not a documentary, it's a movie after all, and they're taking upon a theme and they play it out in a different age. I'm absolutely sure that those movie makers knew of the Oedipus complex and whatever, and mm-hmm. they're just, mm-hmm. So what they do is they try to fantasize what that could mean. And I think, yes, there is a problem with mothers not wanting to give up that symbiotic moment. Mm. They don't, I can imagine that holding on to the son in that way could also lead to the son not being free and not being able to divert his love to another, which he needs to do at one point or the other. And what I've also noticed.
Are you talking in reference to the plot of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is about love.
But there is no one.
I think this is about sex.
Yeah, but this is how do you show your love for someone? I mean, when he gets into adolescence, he's not going to say, "Oh, I just want to have sex." He will fall in love with someone and want to have sex with that person, most likely. To differentiate that physical need from emotion, I suppose that'll come, as he experiences different relationships that he'll be having. But okay. At first, I don't think he's going to come to me and say, "What?
Well, this is
Mom, I just want to fuck someone."
He said what? Say that again?
He's not going to come to me when he's 16 and say, "Mom, I just want to fuck someone." It's not. He's going to come and say, "I fell in love."
Okay. You do understand. Your son will grow up and there's going to be tons of other human beings around. this kid was on an
Yeah.
island and there's only 2 other human beings that he's even seen for the last 10 years. So, and then there's only one woman there. There's only one female there. So as he,
Well, that's even worse. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
He already loves his mom. You know, it's even more dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, it falls together. He loves this woman. It's his mother. And at the same time, he starts desiring her. You know, we have a classical Oedipus complex there, but there's a father in the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not, we're not, you know, we're not disagreeing.
Okay. Well, I don't know. You start talking about culture and all this stuff. I was like, there's no.
Well, it is also, I mean, the movie itself is a cultural product.
See, you're talking about the movie. You're talking about the movie, and I'm talking about the story and the situation.
I mean, in the Bible, Lot has sex with his daughters. So, you know.
He has sex with his daughters?
The incest, this is what is being implied, so that, you know.
Is that what you would call it? They got him drunk? They got him drunk and he was unaware?
Yeah, you know what? They got him drunk and yeah. I mean, I think, you know, this discussion, I'm only having when we have the Bible open and reading it.
Okay, all right.
Line for line.
Okay, all right. You know. Okay, so you know, but once again, you're talking about people who have grown up seeing other people around. This is different. This kid has literally, as he has gone into puberty and is blossoming into his manhood, blossoming. Can you say it like that? Blossoming. Coming into his manhood, there's no other mating potential present.
It's a cultural, I mean, it is culture to say you cannot have incest. This is where culture starts, where you have rules, who you can mate with and who you cannot. And it can, in that movie, it seems to be a dilemma because there is no alternative. You know, what do you do? I mean, it's a really bad position to be.
I mean, it's also still the man's wife as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very bad position to be.
There wasn't really about like, I mean, I don't know, like what kind. I mean, I remember the movie. I have to see it again now so I can know exactly. I just know.
So what are the options, Hollis? What are the options? Either the father is being killed and the mother consents, or the child is being killed, but then with them dying, the whole story ends as well. Or what else do we have? Father killed, son killed, mother killed. You know, so you have these 3 options. Or you tie the guy to a tree, and I don't know what else you can do.
I mean, well, there's another option, obviously. I mean, I don't necessarily. The thing is there's one way to look at it as in a competition, right? But then then this is, this I think actually might even go beyond culture, or and maybe just come down to like the biology of it, because then if the I can't, you know, this is such a crazy topic actually. If the mother, if the father allowed and the mother allowed the son to be with the mother, would the son still, would the son and the father still need to try to kill each other?
If they consent to it, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be consensual from all parties, and then it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which would be the smartest thing if they all three want to survive, actually. In that case, I mean, I'm not.
Man. I see why this movie stirred up a whole bunch of controversy, because it's like stirring up controversy in, you know, in my mind or whatever. I think we just all have to, everybody's got to die.
At one point, yeah.
No, everybody's got to die
There's
now.
dying and dying.
Now that this is start, I kill my
No.
son, I kill my wife, I kill myself, or what, I don't know. Like, yeah.
I don't know.
I know it. So anyway, luckily, nothing like this is.
Thank God, no.
Okay.
My son will have options other than me, so I'm very happy about that.
Yes. All right. So, okay, unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this unconditional love only applying to your son?